everybody, it's me Zombie, and today I'm working on my Aloy cosplay from Horizon Zero Dawn. Today I'm going to be working on the boots, the quiver, and the little bags that are going to be going around the waist. Before getting all of that started, I have to finish up some very exciting hand stitching. And I'm just finishing up this red embroidery thread that's going around all of the tapestries for the skirt. Sewing all of this red thread took me hours to do, but it's finally all done. And no more hand stitching, at least for a little while. Now that the long and tedious part is over, now I get to work on some fun stuff. I'm using my boots I used for my Rey costume, and I'm making some boot covers for them. I'm making my foam boot cover by forming the foam around the base of the boot and kind of eyeballing about the length that I want them to be. Ideally, these will come up to almost my knee. Once my foam boot covers were all contact cemented, now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna be adding all these little details on there. I have everything from fur, to leather, to paracord, and linen, and all kinds of material are going to be going onto these. For this specific part, I'm just adding a piece of faux leather on top of some fur and sewing it together. Some parts of the boots were best to be sewn, like some pieces of the leather and fur, but most of it was just glued together with super glue and hot glue. And this part of the fur boot is just going to be attached around the foam just like this, and I'm just using my hot glue gun. And here's the part of the other boot that's all attached onto the bottom here. For the parts that needed to be made in suede, I made a pattern out of some scrap paper and wrapped them around my boot to make sure that they fit correctly before cutting out my suede. There's this weird black mesh part that's on one side of one of the boots, and I just did that by sewing a bunch of black scrap fabric pieces together. I just reinforced all the little knots with some glue to make sure that they stayed in place. And now that my mesh piece is all done, I can kind of fit it on the side of the boot exactly how it looks in the reference photo. After all my little detail pieces are done for the boot, I can either tie them on or even go in with some super glue and hot glue and make sure that everything stays in place. For the blue linen, I custom dyed some white linen to the color that I needed, and I also used some blue dyed paracord for some of the extra details around the boot. For the paracord and linen pieces, I'm using hot glue again, just to make sure that everything stays in place exactly how I need it to. With these, there's a lot of finagling, adjusting, and just making sure everything is in the right spot. After the boot covers are all done, I can just slip them right over my boots and try them on. They look pretty cool. All they need is a nice coat of some weathering, and everything should be done with these. For the blue paracord on my Rey boots, I just tied some cord around the boots and put a teeny tiny little drop of hot glue under the shoes at each point, just so I could make sure that they stay correctly. None of the hot glue is on the wool parts, it's all on the under rubber part of the sole, so I can just take this paracord off and wear these boots normally too. I've walked around in them quite a bit and everything seems to be staying in place just fine. For Aloy's side bag, I'm making some bags out of foam pieces. These are just 4-part foam pieces. I'm using 2 smaller pieces of foam for the side, 1 larger piece for the back, top, and bottom, and 1 more thinner piece for the front. After I fit all the foam together and make sure everything sticks together well, I'm going to cover each piece in a piece of faux leather. I'm just folding the faux leather over the foam and hot gluing them to the inside. After attaching the faux leather, I just glued everything together and added some Velcro. And ta-da, my little bags are almost done. Now all these bags need are some faux suede stitching. Last but not least is my quiver. I'm patterning out half of the pattern here on some scrap paper and then cutting it out. After cutting it out, I trace the same piece over again and tape them together to get my entire pattern for my quiver. I trace my quiver pattern onto some faux leather and onto some foam. I didn't have any thicker foam, so instead I traced this pattern 3 times onto 2mm foam and then contact cemented them all together to get a stiffer quiver. After my contact cement was dry on my foam, I used my hot glue gun and glued the faux leather right onto the inside of the quiver. I used my X-Acto blades to cut little holes all over the quiver, and then I used my suede lace to add that suede lace stitch detail. After the suede lace stitching was done, I glued it together. For the two straps on the outside of the quiver, I used some 5mm foam and cut in the details with an X-Acto blade. After I cut in all these details, I used my heat gun to really bring out all the details. The heat really helps separate the foam where it's cut, and it makes those details really pop. Some additional foam pieces were super glued onto these straps, and then everything was hot glued into place. And there you have it. Besides a coat of paint and some weathering, this quiver is all done. If you guys want to keep up with this build or tune in for some other cosplay and costume related content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!